for most close-ups on vehicles in flight, the model was hung in front of a painting, a backdrop painting, in fact, that would then be revolved at speed in order to suggest the movement of the craft. Very, very clever. Called a rolling sky.
That's it.
However, in the early days of Supercar, it was a different story. With some exceptions, close-ups of the craft in flight mostly involve the model being hung in front of a back projection screen, on which was then played the image of a real sky and clouds. Very different method. There's a lot of it, in fact, in the opening and closing titles, for instance, as Supercar dives and swoops and soars. This footage did not come from a library, however, but was specially shot for the production by Dad and his cinematographer, John Reed.
Okay.
And it proved to be one of the most dangerous shoots of their careers.
Go on.
Yeah. So, having rented a plane to take them up to 16,000 feet to get the shots, with the camera securely attached to the aircraft and filming through an open door... I know, chilly. The first shot came when they decided to ask the pilot to bank the plane left so that they could get some shots of the ground as well. Accordingly, the pilot did so.
Yes.
Without waiting to make sure that they were both strapped in as they wanted to be.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, as the pilot had of course expected being a professional, the centrifugal force prevented Dad and John from falling out of the door, and they managed to get the shot they wanted without dying. But soon, Dad noticed that John was having trouble breathing.
Oh.
When he asked John what was going on and if he was all right, John said, Gerry, I don't know how to tell you this, but I've only got one lung. What a time to make that confession. Now, obviously, I know, flying at 16,000 feet with the door open and without an emergency oxygen supply was causing John considerable distress. So Dad raced forward to tell the pilot of the situation and get him to land. The pilot's response was basically, yeah, fine. Slight problem, though. My engineer, the flight engineer, has got a cold, and if we lose height quickly, we're going to blow his eardrums out.
Right, okay.
So, to accommodate...
It introduced a bit of jeopardy there.
Exactly. I mean, it's very Gerry Anderson worthy, I would say.
It really is.
So, to accommodate poor John Reed and the flight engineer, the plane had to circle for 45 minutes, descending gradually so as not to cause any more distress to either man, until they made a safe landing and John got the medical attention which he so desperately needed.
What, another lung?
No, I assume some oxygen.
I see.
Presumably, though, Dad then had to go back up at a later date to get the rest of the footage, but probably without John now knowing about his mono-lung status.
Yes, wow.
Now, despite the increased use of the rolling sky in the Supermarionation shows following Supercar, back-projected aerial footage did sometimes still turn up. For instance, you can see real sky and real clouds from the windows of Fireflash in Trapped in the Sky, Thunderbirds. In a similar vein, there's also aerial shots filmed over Portugal in the Thunderbirds Are Go movie as Zero X comes in for landing.
Oh.
And in the same film, you'll see a shot of the Zero X lifting body exploding, and that, again, was shot against real sky in that case.
Okay.
Another real sky thing which really works because it's so beautiful with proper sunlight, with daylight, was the famous launch of the rocket in Doppelganger, which Derek did outside against real sky. And we've got some great photos of that shoot. It was just amazing. So although it was certainly easier to work with a painted rolling sky background, it does help to bring the shows to life a little to see real specially shot sky from time to time. And that all goes back to Supercar and A Dangerous Flight for Dad and John Reed.
Crikey! Well, that's a bit of a story, isn't it?
It is indeed.
But tell me, why did they go to Portugal to film the sky for Thunderbirds Are Go?
Why not?
I suppose why not? You can write it off against tax, can't you?
Go for a little holiday. I'm pretty sure they shot that from a helicopter because I think I've got a picture of the helicopter somewhere.
Right.
So,
nice.
Yeah, it's very cool,
nice
isn't
work
it?
if you can get it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, Dad would have loved that flight because he was so interested and so obsessed with flying. And having that open. But I have to say, being up in the air with the door open, I did that a few years ago in a chopper for the York Maze when they had a Thunderbirds version in 2015.
Oh, yes.
And we went up in the little tiny bubble chopper with the door open so that the guy from the news crew could film out. And I've never held onto a strap so tightly in my life.
No. No, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty
And
scary
they're quite
stuff.
noisy, aren't they? Helicopters. I have to say, I've been in a helicopter too, and they make a hell of a lot of noise,
Yeah,
don't
but
they?
I bet it was pretty noisy in that airplane with the door open as well.
Oh,
so,
God, yeah, true.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's given me a little bit of a shiver, that.